Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are coming back with an episode after a few weeks. We had a small break
Yeah,
just to take some time for ourselves.
couple of
And
small breaks. Yeah.
yeah, yep. And now we have quite a bit of interesting topics to go through. And then something actually I was traveling the last week through a few countries, and he has a few stories to share about. So we thought it would be interesting to start with that first. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to start there. So did I think we went to Poland as well, right? I think
Mm.
after going to Poland, we didn't have a episode. We
No,
didn't do
no.
okay, cool. Okay, so let me add in Poland as well. So,
Mm,
went to so those are two separate trips. I went to Poland. So to be specific, Gdansk in Poland, which is not a very very famous city per se. It
mm,
is I mean it's generally famous in Sweden. A lot of people go there, but probably not around the world. Um, that was quite nice, and it the the day we went there, it snowed, and it was the first snow,
okay.
and it was pretty nice. So that was pretty cool, and i- it's I feel like it's an underrated city.
Mm,
There's a lot of things
mm,
to do, and it's pretty
mm,
nice.
yeah.
And it's a pretty good city to go
Yeah.
and on a small break and just have some fun.
Yeah. I
Uh,
haven't been to Gdansk, but I've been to Poland some time ago. And
mm,
it compared to Sweden, like the costs
Krakow,
are
right?
like, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I've been to Warsaw and to Krakow, I think. I can't remember
Okay.
exactly, but
Okay.
in those two cities. But what I remember is kind of like I had this feeling like that it felt a bit closer to Sri Lanka in terms of the loudness and the people. So
Yes,
the
yes,
mark.
yes.
This is what I very
Yes,
much felt.
exact same thing. Yes,
Yeah. Right.
yes. So like even like so we went in a taxi, right?
Yeah.
And the taxi guy, the how he drove reminded me of how people taxi guys drive in Sri Lanka, right? It just I mean
Yeah.
he wasn't driving unsafe, but you know how
Yeah.
how they drive, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like because they had the street markets, if I can
Yeah, yeah.
remember, and the loudness generally.
Mm,
It felt very much for me like this was like about 3-4 years ago when I was there, but yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It
It
was
hasn't
the
changed
same.
much.
Mm, mm, mm. And it's also considerably cheaper compared, like the food
Yeah,
and everything. Yeah,
definitely cheaper.
yeah.
So I think it was pretty cheap for us as well for the whole trip. It didn't really cost that much per person.
Mm,
And food was relatively cheap as well.
yeah.
But I mean, we didn't eat out that often as well because
Mm.
we were in an Airbnb. Sorry,
Okay.
not an Airbnb, we were in
Yeah,
an apartment, right? Not an
yeah.
Airbnb specifically, but and we did make a few things at home.
Mm,
Um, had a few drinks and
mm,
alcohol sip there as well. It was quite nice. Not
yeah.
bad. Not bad.
Good, good.
But then the highlight was actually then recently, like actually not recently, like last week we were in Prague, me and my wife. Um, uh, and that was really good. So we went to so it was a bit of a longer trip. So we went to Prague. We flew to Prague, stayed about 2 nights there, and my wife wanted to go to a Christmas market in Dresden, which is the oldest Christmas market. I'm not sure in Europe, but probably
Mm,
definitely in Germany.
mm,
Started in the 1400s. So this
mm.
was their 529th Christmas
Okay.
consecutive year that they've been having. I'm not sure whether it's consecutive, but
Mm, mm,
529th year
mm,
that they've been having it.
mm,
And that was like a proper because we went to a Christmas market when we went to dance. We went to the Christmas market in Stockholm, and
mm.
those are relatively small,
Yeah, yeah,
and you know what I mean, right?
yeah. So is it
Uh,
like a huge area, like a
so it's
big,
like a
big?
huge area. So it's the whole city is a Christmas market, right? So there are
Okay.
there are bits of the Christmas market scattered around the city, but
Mm,
there's like one main place where the huge
mm,
Christmas market is with this
mm.
big Ferris wheel and
Yeah,
signing rides for
yeah.
the kids and
Mm.
things like
So
that, right?
so this is a bit closer to, like, it probably much bigger than what they like the Malmo festival, like you guys were here when it happened.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So
yeah, it's not no. So Malmo Festival is massive, right? So it's not that big,
okay,
right?
okay.
But it's so they have a square in the city that's full whole square
Mm,
is in the Christmas market, and there's
okay.
another like
Mm,
smaller square spread out the city. So all of these squares would have like a small Christmas market.
Okay.
You get the idea, right? So
Mm.
that's sort of how it works out. They don't really close off streets to have the market,
Mm. Mm.
but yeah, they have it with it, and that was pretty
Mm.
nice.
Mm.
And that was pretty enjoyable. They had some
Yeah.
really good food. Oh
Yeah.
my God, dude, the food was so good.
Did you guys
Uh,
plan to go to all these places? Like, or was it like you just went? I
uh
don't know how
no,
did it
no.
happen?
So we had a rough plan, right? So we
Yeah.
said, okay, we want to go somewhere in Christmas, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go to Prague, right? Because
Yeah.
Prague is nice and all that. And then my wife was like, okay, we need to do Christmas markets in Europe. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. So then we found out like one of the best Christmas markets is apparently Dresden, and one of
Mm.
the oldest actually. So it's and probably looks nice as well. So we went for that. And then decided, okay, why since we're in Germany, why not go to Berlin? Because the we traveled from Prague to Dresden in the train. We didn't take any flights because it
Yeah.
would have been awful.
Yeah.
We took the train, and that train eventually ends up in Berlin.
Okay.
Right? So, well, it doesn't end up in Berlin; it goes through Berlin, right, and ends
Yeah.
up somewhere else, right? So,
Yeah.
so
So so
for
you
Berlin, it's
so
like
you
2 hours
didn't
away.
have like fixed book tickets, like you just
No, no,
kind
no.
of no.
We booked everything.
Oh, okay,
I,
okay.
I wish we could do that. The thing is, when you book last minute, the prices get jacked up and
Yeah,
it's
exactly. Yeah.
expensive, right?
Yeah.
So we had to book the train tickets, but the what we were gonna do in the city during the
Mm.
whatever time we said, we didn't really book that. We just said,
Okay.
okay, 2 nights for the city, 1 night for the city, and 2 nights again
Mm.
for Berlin. And we did Prague. Prague and Berlin, the two like opposites, right, of cities. So Prague
Mm.
is relatively a smaller city,
Mm.
very compact. You can walk around the city. You don't
Mm.
need like public transport
Mm.
necessarily. I mean, you might want to get it if you want to
Yeah.
sort of, maybe just
Mm.
stop walking for a bit, but you
Mm.
don't need to. Actually, you don't need to
Yeah.
because it's not that big of a city. You can just
Yeah.
walk around everything.
I was also in Prague, like when I was working with Isaac, I went for a conference. What I
Uh,
remember is it's a bit mountainy, right? It's not like a
Yeah,
flat
yeah. So
city. It's
that
it's quite
one
up
one
and
part of the
yeah.
city is so one part of the city. So you would have been in across the river. So
Mm.
Prague one is like the main area, and then where
Mm.
the Prague castle is across the city, and that
Mm.
area tends to be a bit mountainous.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's a hill, and it's really tired.
Mm.
You can get
Yeah.
tired walking about
This
it.
is what I remember.
Yes. I mean, well, the that area is walkable. So at least the tourist sites are walkable. There is like
Mm.
there are suburbs of Prague, right?
Mm.
It's not like a really small city, but there are suburbs of Prague where you can sort of travel to, but those are not too far away. You can just
Mm. Mm.
relatively accessible, right? Whereas Berlin, it's massive, right?
Mm.
So just to give you some context, we came and we came from Dresden to Berlin, right? So Dresden, we came into Berlin Central Station, and they had about 4 floors, I think.
Mm.
4 floors of platforms,
Okay.
right? 4 floors of platform. Imagine that, right? So there's like set of platforms that are dedicated for regional trains, set of
Mm.
platforms for the U-Bahn and
Mm.
then a set for the S-Bahn, and
Mm.
then another set for the ICE, EC and IC trains, right?
Yeah.
So just the regional trains are ones that go within Germany.
Mm.
Then there's the ICE, IC,
Yeah, it's the
other
longest.
high-speed trains, like so they're like
Mm.
the region. They are regional, but they're high speed, right? So they're high
Mm.
speed.
Mm.
So the regional trains are slower trains. And then the S-Bahn is like so they in Berlin they have a weird system. No, I wouldn't call it weird, but it's unique to them. Uh, in Stockholm we have the Tunnelbana
Tunnelbana.
and
Yeah.
the Pendeltåg and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So these guys don't have anything like that. They don't have subway. They don't have trains. What they have is S-Bahn and U-Bahn, right?
Mm.
So U-Bahn is generally underground. That's why it
Mm.
does a U.
You. Yeah.
And it's sort of acts like the subway.
Mm.
And S-Bahn is like an elevated train.
Mm.
It generally goes in elevated railways, but only 80% there are some S-bahns that go under, there are some U-bahns that go over. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but you get the picture, right? So that's how it's divided out.
Yeah, but these are like normal trains, or like how's
no,
the structure?
there maybe there's about the size of a subway, both S-bahn and U-bahn, right? But U-bahn is generally considered the how it's laid out is so U-bahn is laid out like a subway, like you have separate tracks going and all of that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of what do you say interconnected tracks.
Yeah,
Generally separated.
But why do you call it like not like subway or like not?
They don't call it subway. This is a U-bahn, right? So
Okay.
no subway. It's
They accept
U-bahn,
the term.
right?
Yeah.
It's a German thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have like I don't know how many. They have like 8 subway lines, I think. If I remember correctly, so U1 to U8. I don't. That's what I remember at least. And then again, they have S1 to S9.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry.
So
S1 to S9. Yeah.
Is this like, I mean, for an example, in London, they have a pretty complicated train subway system as well. Like, is it similar to that?
Probably. London is a pretty big city, right? So they have probably as complex line in Berlin.
And you said like they had like 4 levels of trains. Like when you compare
this
that
is in
to
Berlin Station.
in Berlin Station. When you compare that to Stockholm Central Station, like is it much bigger than that? Like the whole station itself? Yeah.
Oh my God, yes, much. I mean, we were like, as we entered, we were like, where do we go? It's like so confusing, but we figured it out in the end.
It's like an airport with multiple terminals.
Exactly. It's like an airport. It's exactly. And I was like, okay, did we come to the right place? And it's so big and massive, and oh my God. And yeah, but it was fun. I mean, it's a different experience, right? So like going, so because we were in a very relatively small city compared to the major capitals in Europe, right? In Colombo, when we were back in Colombo, but then we moved to Stockholm, which wasn't as a big jump because it was, I mean, probably about the same size in terms of population at least. But of course, it had more interconnected transport and all of that. So it's not too hard getting used to that, right? But from Stockholm to Berlin, the gap is much bigger, right? It's much bigger. But I would say Stockholm and Prague is probably bigger, but in terms of area, Prague is probably smaller. But at least it felt like that. I don't know whether it might be if you look at the numbers, it might be different, but it felt smaller.
But Berlin is definitely bigger as a city, and
definitely bigger, right? Because even to do the touristy things, you need some kind of transport. Either you take a taxi or you need to take
in Prague and Stockholm, you can walk quite a bit if
more
you
or
want.
More or less, because most of the tourist areas are in sort of the same area, right? Because we walk from the Central Station to the castle to Gamla Stan and all of those areas, right? And it's walkable generally. You don't need transport. I mean, you can take it in the winter when it's bloody cold outside.
But so in Berlin, like things are quite spread apart.
Quite far away. There are a few things that are sort of together, like the Parliament building, the Brandenburg Gate, and the Jewish Memorial. Those 3 are actually closer together. But maybe things like the East Berlin Gallery, that's separate. You need to go quite a bit to see that. And Museum Island again is, I mean, you can technically walk. It's about 20 minutes walk, but I think it's easier to take a bus or something to get there. But yeah, and this is excluding the things outside of the city, which is like the like castles and stuff in the city where you can go and visit. But yeah.
And how's the cost of like commuting, like the transportation there in Germany compared to Stockholm?
Compared to Stockholm, good question. How much? Okay, I can't remember what
The Stockholm regular ticket is like 39, I think.
39, yeah. So I think I'm just checking the ticket price for. Let me check the ticket price for the 24.
I assume you guys got like a 3-day pass or whatever, or like something like that.
We got 2 24-hour passes.
Okay.
And 24-hour one is here like is 120. 165.
Yeah.
165 SEK.
Yeah.
The 24-hour pass there was actually cheaper. Yeah,
Mm.
like slightly cheaper.
Mm. Yeah.
Because this 24-hour one is all of Stockholm, right? But in
Yeah.
Berlin, it's split into zones. There's like
Zones.
zone A, zone B, zone C. Zone C is
Mm.
like the out area.
Yeah.
And zone, like if you buy a ABC, all three zones, it costs about €10,
Mm.
90, which is about
Yeah.
that's €11, round it up.
Yeah. Mm.
That will be, oh no, that's more expensive, right? Oh no, is it?
No.
Oh no, it's 120, around 120 SEK, right?
Yeah. Because I remember, like, I saw some news some time ago that Germany had like cheaper public transport
Yeah,
than most European countries, and they
yeah,
also had this special ticket during summer, I think.
yeah,
Uh,
€49 one, right?
yeah, I think for the whole country or something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you can get the €49. It's a Deutsche. I'm not sure it's a Deutsche Bahn ticket, but €49. You buy that per month, so that's 49 per month, right?
Mm,
You can buy that. You can use that ticket anywhere in Germany, right?
that's
Except for IC and EC trains,
mm.
right? And all other, of course, other trains as
Yeah,
well. Like if you see another
yeah.
train, you can't get on that.
But that's a
But regional and local trains you can.
Yeah, but
Very
that's pretty
positive.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's super affordable. Yeah, and I don't think the salaries in Germany are considerably less than Sweden. Is it?
No,
No,
definitely
right?
not.
No.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I
Yeah.
think it might be even higher, if ever.
Even yeah.
But that
Uh,
depends on the city, right? And the other sort of uh I need to tell you this, right? So in Sweden, generally, even in like non-major cities, English is generally okay, right? We can get by
yeah.
easily, right? Generally, it's okay. But when we went to Dresden in Germany, which is sort of, I mean, it's not Dresden is by no means a small city, right?
Yeah.
It's a pretty big city. Um, uh, we went there to the Christmas market. There was only about 2 stores that spoke English properly, right? And like, I mean, the other guys didn't know a single word of English, right? I mean,
No.
we're like zero.
Oh
I
no.
mean, like,
How did you
oh,
manage?
pointing and sign language, the universal,
Yeah.
whatever, right? But yeah, it was an interesting
Mm,
experience though.
mm.
But yeah,
But Berlin is obviously they have a
yeah,
lot of
Berlin is fine. I mean, Berlin you
yeah.
can get by with anything.
Mm.
Um, but yeah,
Mm. But you said you had some things to compare Stockholm versus Berlin. Were like what is the main things, or like do you have any other things that you wanted to say?
um, Berlin is a bit busier than
Yeah.
Stockholm.
Mm.
It's probably given that it's a bigger city.
Mm. How about
Mm,
the sort of being organized, the cleanliness in the city? Like how is that?
it's not that clean,
Mm.
to be frank. Well, it's like this, right? So the tourist areas that we are supposed to go to, they are like immaculate. They are pretty nice. They are
Mm.
very, very beautiful, right? But we went to a bit of outside of those touristy areas
Mm.
randomly for some weird reasons because we were restaurant hunting and stuff. Because there's
Yeah.
a Sri Lankan restaurant in
Yeah, I wanted to ask about
Berlin.
that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. We went to that. It was pretty good. Um, and I mean the area that restaurant is fine. It's actually pretty
Mm.
good. I'm not talking about that. We went to a different small like burger joint sort of place,
Mm.
and that was in a bit of a dodgy neighborhood. I think I don't know. It looked dodgy at least to my eyes. And it wasn't that clean, right? So some of the
Mm.
stuff it was not very clean.
Mm.
But I mean, I guess that's expected with the big city. You
Yeah,
can't really keep
yeah.
everything clean.
The thing is, I think we've gotten spoiled by the Swedish standards of keeping the cities clean. Because I remember this, I went to when I went to Austria like once. I was like the city was it was Vienna. I
Oh,
felt
okay.
like the train stations, the city wasn't that clean. It wasn't clean for my like the roofs of the train station had a lot of bird shit and everything, and it
Oh,
wasn't clean for a long time. Maybe it was the area that it was still central Vienna, I think. Yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
yeah, so the rest of it was quite clean, but I think it's just they have a very high standard here in the Scandinavian
Yeah, I mean,
countries in terms of cleanliness.
there are certain areas which I thought was dirty, right? In
Yeah,
Stockholm. I mean,
yeah,
Stockholm is not immaculate, right? I don't
yeah,
tell that. But I'm telling you, the when I say I'm not clean, I'm saying it's worse than that, right? So
yeah.
I look very
Exactly,
almost
exactly.
live in
Yeah,
Stockholm. Yeah, it's worse than that, right? So that's what I'm comparing it
mm,
to, not like the clean standard of Stockholm
yeah,
generally.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's just we've been spoiled. Like generally here, it's like that. Like Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Finland. It's very high standards to having the cities clean. Yeah. But how was the Sri Lankan restaurant? Like, how were the food, the meals? Like, is it?
It
Did,
was good. I mean,
yeah,
I wanted to I was in a Kottu mood sort of for some
yeah,
weird
yeah.
reason, and they had Kottu, and their Kottu was pretty good.
Mm.
But I felt like should have gone for the rice because they had this amazing chili paste that they had.
Mm.
It's definitely they make it in
Mm.
house.
Mm.
You can't buy
Mm.
that stuff
Yeah, yeah.
anywhere else. That was really good, really savory. It wasn't too sweet.
Mm.
Um, and that would have gone perfectly with the rice. And I asked the waitress, and she was like, "Ah, yes, sir, we have the rice, but it's called biryani." And I'm like, "Dude, why do you call fried rice a biryani?" And I'm like, "Okay, why? Okay, that's fine."
Mm.
But yeah, I think I didn't read the description. I just saw biryani,
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Okay, I'm not a huge fan of biryani. I like
yeah.
other things better." I just skipped it, right? But I should have read the description. So when you read the description, it's just excellent
What?
fried rice.
Why do they call it biryani?
I
Like,
don't know. Uh, but yeah, anyway, that
is
was
it a
there.
Sri Lankan chef
Yeah.
doing it? Yeah, yeah,
I'm not sure that the owner is Sri Lankan definitely because
yeah.
we had a friend who lived there.
Mm.
We
Mm.
asked him and he was like, yeah, it was
Mm.
Sri Lankan person running it.
Yeah. How is it compared to the restaurant here in Malmo? Like the food, like you had the kottu here,
Mm,
right?
the Malmo
Better?
one is better,
Malmo is
I
better.
think. Yes.
Good, good, good.
No, but so the thing is, it's like this, right? The Malmo one doesn't have the Malmo one has all these sort of fast food type Sri Lankan food, if I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah, yeah.
The only
Mm.
sort of slow thing that they have is probably the rice and curry.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it takes a bit of time to make and all that.
Mm.
Because other stuff is like the fried rice,
Mm.
um, and the kottu and all of that.
Yeah,
Then there's
nasi
fast
goreng,
foods
yeah.
and nasi
Yeah.
goreng, right? And nasi goreng is not even like a Sri Lankan
Shit.
dish, but it's sort of the
Yeah.
Sri Lankanized
Yeah,
nasi
yeah,
that they
yeah.
have, right? But this place has more, sort of authentic stuff like hoppers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
string hoppers, and all of that.
Mm. Yeah.
And
I mean
those are pretty good.
the Malmo restaurant is doing like those things, but it's not on the daily menu. That's the thing.
Daily
Yeah.
menu, yeah.
Yeah, because they had this short eats like for this weekend.
Okay.
They made like the okay, I don't know if I can show you. It's like the cutlets, the chicken rolls, and then like
Oh,
egg
nice,
patties, and then
nice.
it was like like how do you say a vegetable roti with jackfruit in it. Like yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we got it this, and they also, I think, I don't know whether it's them doing it or another one. They started putting some Sri Lankan drinks, like fruit juices,
Hmm.
in bottles. So king coconut, mango, pineapple, passion, king coconut mixed with passion, and things like that. They have like a
Uh-huh.
set of drinks, and then when I looked at the label, it's packed in Malmo. Like they pack it in Malmo. Like the bottling is done in Malmo. It has
Oh.
an address here in Malmo, but. They probably import like big like cans, and then they probably
Hmm.
bottle it here in one. I assume. Yeah. It
Interesting.
was pretty good. Like the king coconut, like I got the king coconut and the mango bottles yesterday, and it was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the
Interesting.
shortage was also quite good. I have some leftovers. I need to put it into the air fryer for a bit and eat it like later.
Maybe you can bring some when you're coming here.
I mean, it's probably going to be a bit too late, but if they
No.
have some stuff like the some Saturday before that, I can bring. Maybe I can bring some.
Okay, okay. No,
Because
I'm
I
just
think
kidding. I'm just kidding.
yeah,
Don't
I know,
don't
I
bother,
know.
man. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but
Uh,
just let me checking. We'll be coming there on the 31st, right? And 30th is the Saturday. So let's see if we can bring something.
Wait, you're coming on the 31st? I thought you were coming on 28th or something.
No, no, no. 31st? No, 30th. I think we are coming on the 30th. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
and then we are coming 30th evening, and then leaving on the 3rd. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was
Yeah.
mixing up dates. My bad.
Yes. So yeah. Good. It looks like a good trip, and for you guys.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. It was tiring though. We're not
Yeah.
gonna do like two major cities back to back. It's too tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't. I mean, we did look at most of the sites. It was quite nice.
Yeah.
But it's still tiring. So
Yeah.
yesterday, the whole day we were sleeping. We didn't do anything else.
So, try to also see if you can get like the EU, what do you call Eurorail pass or whatever, I don't know whether
I
it works.
looked at that, but
Yeah.
the Eurorail pass would have been more expensive if just for us, because we just took 2 stays. So I think you
Yeah.
need to have at
A
least
bit
going to
bigger
4
website.
cities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Eurorail pass makes sense. So yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. I mean, we also had like a lot of things happening. That's why we kind of shifted our sort of, we didn't have our episodes coming out in the previous 2 weeks. Yeah, pretty tough weeks at work and for me
Especially
as
the
well.
holiday
Yeah.
weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a special episode planned for
Yes, we
the
have.
next
We
one.
have. Let's keep that. Let's keep that
The
a
next,
secret.
I said next one because the next recording day is a Christmas day. I don't think we'll record
Ah,
it.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So yes, the next one will be a bit of a special episode. Like, let's
Yeah.
see when
Let's
it's
see how it
released.
goes. Let's see how
Yeah,
it
let's see how it goes. Yeah,
goes. We'll try to make it special.
yeah. But now we have collected some topics outside of the trip from the last few weeks, and the Cybertruck has been a big topic for good and bad reasons.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Cybertruck again. I don't. Okay, I mean it's a cool truck. I mean, you have to admit it, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of cool. But there's speculation it will only be available in America because of some safety standards and things like that. It's not going to
yeah.
come to Europe, and it's too big, and you need a specific other license to be able to drive it and all that stuff, right?
Yeah,
So maybe a few might come in, but it won't be
yeah,
like.
Yeah,
Massively available, right?
yeah.
There's another reason for that, but we'll get into that later. Um, and it's currently very expensive, right? The current version that's being sort of sold is like about 100,000 odd USD.
But that's the most expensive one, right? Is it?
Exactly. That's the most
Yeah.
expensive one, right? So it's been about how many years since it was it like 5 years since it was announced? 5 years, 4 years? It's been quite a while. And they promised like a $30,000 truck with the massive range and all of that, right? I mean, that's what they promised, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm just quoting what's in my head. I'm not maybe not 100% accurate, but they essentially what they did was they haven't really delivered on what they promised again.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're rich enough to buy that, you're fine, right? But it's not a everyday man's vehicle. It's not going to be like a it's not going to be like everyone won't be able to drive it. I don't think so. That's what they had in mind. That's what they sort of promised, but I don't think they've achieved that.
It's like
maybe not yet.
It's like a product for a tech enthusiast or someone who's
Exactly.
like I need to
Yeah, I mean it's a cool product. You have to admit it.
Yeah.
It's got all this cool stuff. It's bulletproof. For no, I don't know for what reason, but it's bulletproof, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's some cool concepts and it looks kind of nice, but it's not. I don't think it'll be like a massive seller.
Yeah, I think in terms of countries, maybe it'll work in Australia. It's a big country. There's a lot of roads going around. Maybe it'll work there.
Australia, maybe New Zealand as well. Sort of similar thing.
Yeah, not in Europe. Most of Europe, because like you said, like the safety standards and everything.
And it's too pointy at some edges.
Yeah. I mean, it has enough safety for the vehicle itself, but not for anything outside of the
anything else outside. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you get hit
goes
by
to
this.
Show the safety philosophy in America versus Europe, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not go into that.
No.
I mean, it's still
Uh,
speculation, right? It hasn't been officially announced whether it's coming to Europe,
mm,
but I don't think it is, although they were accepting pre-orders from Europe.
mm.
So
Maybe
I'm not.
they didn't. Yeah, but probably like it's because they were like they didn't, like you said, they announced it in 2019. I just said,
Hmm.
and they didn't exactly give specifications on how the vehicle is going to be. Like they were
Yeah,
taking
yeah,
pre-orders,
yeah.
but probably the pre-orders will get refunds. Hopefully, if
Hopefully,
it
but
doesn't, yeah,
yeah, hopefully they give it back with inflation. But I don't think
yeah.
they'll probably not do that.
I don't think so. I mean, Elon Musk is losing money left and right these days.
Yeah,
With what he's doing, like with I saw like with X, no, formerly known as Twitter.
yeah.
He has lost around 1.5 billion or 1.5 million. I can't remember ad revenue
Ad revenue
this
probably
year.
1.5
Yeah,
billion. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Ad revenue. So it's a bit down for him. So let's see what he's gonna do. And he's also getting some beating up here in Sweden and in the Scandinavian
Yes.
countries.
Yeah. I think did we talk about
Yeah,
this
we talked
in a
about it a
previous
bit. Like,
previous one?
yeah, we talked about it a bit. Like, just generally what's happening.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't hear that, they have been like the Tesla workers here in Sweden have been going on a strike because Tesla is
Mm.
not willing to sign a collective agreement, which is like an agreement with the unions here. So they have like similar rights. They don't have to really discuss salary levels.
Mm.
All those things are discussed with the unions themselves. And it's a very good safety net for employees here in Sweden.
Mm.
And they're just trying to implement the same system with Tesla. But apparently, Tesla is a bit anti union. Generally, Elon Musk is a bit anti union.
Mm.
And he has said no to it. And they've gone on strike. It started in October, sometime in October.
Yeah.
And now many other unions are joining in to the support. Like it's been
And it's
expanding.
legal here. It's
And it's
illegal.
legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that it's not. I heard that it's illegal in the US to do sympathy strikes or like I don't know something
Uh,
like that.
yeah, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a Nordic thing if I'm correct, because it's not just
Oh,
Sweden who's doing this, right? It's all the
yeah,
other countries joining in. So
yeah,
what happened was when Sweden went on a strike, it was I think the postal workers who went on strike first to say, okay, we're not going to deliver the oh yeah, sorry, actually.
no, not the
Uh,
postal workers. It's the ship offloading. I can't remember who it's like.
I can't remember. Yeah, exactly. Either one of those guys, right? So what happened was they couldn't really deliver cars to people within Sweden, right? So then what they did try to do was they went to Norway and they were like, okay, we're gonna ship this cars from Norway, and they're like, okay, no, Norway, we're not gonna deliver any cars to Sweden. That's all they said. They didn't go on strike. They were like, no deliveries to Sweden. That's
Yeah,
not gonna happen, right?
yeah,
They'll do it in Norway. Okay, then they were fine.
yeah,
Then they went try to go to Denmark and they're like, okay, Denmark, no, we're not gonna do that.
yeah.
And now they're just stuck.
And
And
then I think Finland also joined in.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Must be. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So they're like
yeah.
screwing out Tesla.
And then, like you said, like the postal service, they stopped delivering the number plates
Mm,
for Tesla. I think they tried to put a legal case over the Postnode,
yeah.
who's the delivery service, and they still lost the case.
They still lost. So they won the first thing in the first
Yeah,
court. I can't remember the regional court. They said yes, and then they took it to a higher court, and then the higher court said no. Screw you guys, and they won it.
yeah. And I think I saw on a website that they try to figure out a workaround Tesla. What they're trying to do is once the purchase is done, they transfer the ownership of the car fully to the owner who purchased, and then that person orders the number plates through the registration system. So that it's an individual, it's not the company ordering. So I think I don't know whether this is true, but like I saw this on an article saying that they are doing this right now so that the company is not ordering directly. Um, but yeah, recently there was an update to this news saying that the cleaning, like the unions that are handling
Yeah.
the cleaning services, yeah, have stopped working for Tesla as well. So no one's picking
Mm,
up trash, no one's doing cleaning in Tesla
yeah.
offices
Yeah.
anymore. So
Yeah.
so,
Wow. Okay, that's gonna suck. So
yeah,
this
yeah,
happened last time. I can't remember. It was Toys R Us, right? If I remember correctly, you
yeah,
mentioned.
yeah.
And it lasted for a few weeks, and they sort of reversed everything, and they signed everything at the end.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
but yeah.
And I saw that like this kind of is backfiring on Elon Musk and Tesla very strongly right now because it's getting more awareness globally. And I saw that there's a union in uh, a workers union
Germany.
in the US. They are also trying to open up unionizing again, like let me say, uh, there's a specific union in the US for all automakers, I think, and they are trying to unionize again about 150,000 workers. It's including Tesla, General Motors, and most other EV manufacturers, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So mm, mm, mm. Let me check Union US Tesla. Let me see if I can find anything news. Yes, this is the one. Union Auto Workers, is it? UAW. What is UAW again? UAW. Sorry. United Auto Workers. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, United Auto Workers. So they also want to unionize Tesla right now. Like, and they are starting their actions in US. So
Yeah, but
like what we
US they have like lax laws in terms of
yeah,
union. The
yeah,
lawmakers have screwed the unions, so they can't
yeah.
really.
The people have screwed unions
Yeah.
themselves.
People
But in
don't.
terms of it's I was reading like a few articles saying that then when they were trying to unionize, a lot of propaganda, was
Yeah, yeah. So
uh,
unions is considered communist, right? So
yeah,
that's what happened,
and then
and
also unions are considered like politically, was it democratic? There's two parties, right? Democratic
yeah,
and the
democratic.
Republic
Yeah.
and the
They're
Republican.
aligned towards them. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's like there was like if the unions come in, the Dems will get the votes and
Mm,
something like that. So
mm,
they just vote against it so that
mm.
the Democratic Party doesn't get a foothold. Like even though that's not the case, but yeah,
Not the case. Yeah.
yeah. So that's also going up a bit there but not as strong as the Scandinavian unions. Or I heard the German unions are also thinking about
Yeah, because
join.
there's a gigafactory in Germany, right? If
Yes,
I
yes, 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 yes. But I think
Hmm,
it's very
interessant.
soon. I think if it because I don't know
No,
how.
because I think that's why Elon is trying to stop this, because if something happens and they unionize in Sweden, in Nordics, right?
Yeah,
That's gonna spread to Germany
yeah,
easily, right?
yeah,
They're gonna,
yeah.
okay, dude, they're doing it. Why
But
not me?
but I think it's too late. Either he has to pull out of Sweden or
Yeah.
he has to let it happen. So I, but it's still gonna spread. Like even if he pulls out of Sweden, like the other countries are going to take this as a red flag.
Yeah.
And we'll see, we'll see. It's so interesting to see Elon Musk get beaten down by the unions.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So we are coming to an end with our episode today.
Yeah.
We will, like you said, have a bit of a more special episode the next time, like after Christmas. But until then, I hope you enjoyed our episode today, and hope all of you have an amazing Christmas and any other holiday time that you're celebrating.
Yep. Wish you happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays, guys. See you next time.
Yep. See you. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen.